Hi! Today we're going to take a step back in time as I demonstrate for you an old-fashioned Christmas card using the Stampin' Up! Christmas in the Making stamp set. Welcome! I'm Shelley Godby, the owner and CEO of Stamping Smiles, and for 16 years I've been teaching others how to create their own hand-stamped smiles. It's November 1st, 2017. I'm all excited because the Stampin' Blends markers are here, and we're going to use a few of them on our Christmas in the Making Christmas card. Here's a closer view of the Christmas in the Making stamp set. I think we're going back to the 50s or 60s with these clothes. Love it. And trying to pick a favorite, it just changes all the time. But my mom had a dress that reminds me a lot of that. So we're going to use this one today. And then look what I have over here. Just some of the new Stampin' Blends markers. These are alcohol markers, and coloring with them is just a breeze. And that's just some of them. Let me show you. Here's our brochure with all of the colors, and they come in light and dark. And then we have a couple extras. We have ivory and bronze, and we'll be using the ivory today. And so what we're going to do though first is we're going to do just a little bit of die cutting. So let me grab my Big Shot. I've got my Big Shot die cutting machine, and we're going to be die cutting with the largest oval from the Layering Ovals Framelits dies. So our sandwich is, we start with the Big Shot platform, and because we're using a thin metal die, we need the thin die adapter. That's appropriately named, huh? Then the next part of our sandwich is a cutting pad, and then our cardstock, Whisper White cardstock, and then this largest oval die. There we go. The black that you see here, this is a magnetic sheet. Actually, they're vent covers to put over your vents in your house, and it just keeps them all so nicely organized. You can pick these up at the hardware store, and if you don't know where to get them, I'll have a link to where you can pick some up online. Okay, and so then our large oval die, that lip, that's the cutting edge. Let's put that down. Okay, and then the rest of our sandwich is another cutting pad. Go ahead and crank that through. So what we're wanting out of this is the oval itself, because we're going to create a mask, and I'll explain that when we get to that part. We're ready to stamp, so I have some Whisper White cardstock and our pretty lady. And whenever you're coloring with the Stampin' Blends markers, they're alcohol markers, you'll want to use the Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad. It won't bleed when we touch the markers to it if it touches the line, okay? So this pad's rather small, so let's turn this rubber side up, take the lid off, and this way we can make sure we get it inked really well. Okay. Oh, that's looking pretty good, huh? Let's see what we get. Put that lid back on. There we go. And I want her in the center. Aha. So let's just press everywhere. Not hard, but press everywhere. We want to make sure we get a good image. Oh, isn't she pretty? Oh, okay. And so now for our Stampin' Blends. Pull these over here, and they come in light and dark. And as of today, November 1st, you can order these in my online store. So excited. So we've got Cherry Cobbler here in the light and dark, and Old Olive in the light and dark. I've got Crumb Cake just in the light, and I've got Smoky Slate in the dark. And then here's that ivory I was telling you about. So let's go ahead and start with the light Cherry Cobbler. And there are two tips. You have a finer tip and a large, more of a brush tip. Let's start with this finer tip. Okay. And I'm going to follow along this line for my coloring. Okay. Here we go. And so it reminds me a lot of watercoloring, more vibrant than watercoloring, but you're able to shade so pretty. So now that I've done that, it's going to be easier for me to color this in, because now I'll use that brush tip and fill in her dress, the bottom of her dress. There we go. And unlike regular markers, you don't see the brush marks like we do with a regular marker, a dye-based, or water-based I should say. All right. So there we go. We colored that in. And then, oh, that is so pretty. And this is still with the light one. Let's go ahead and color her sash. And see, even though I'm using that brush end, it still has a fine tip. Love these. So excited to have the Stampin' Blends, the alcohol markers. Oh my goodness. Just love, love, love the look. Okay, so we've got the red on the red, but we'll do a little something to help separate that. And then our berries. Doop, doop, doop. There we go. Holly berries. And then one over there. Isn't that pretty? And then I decided to make her, oh here, I forgot the sash part. And then her collar as well. Maybe on this one I'll want the smaller tip. Okay. And this is such a, you know, it's not a small stamp, but there's a lot of detail that these are just great for. I mean, I could watercolor this, but boy, this just makes it easy. So now let's take the dark cherry cobbler and give the shading, give it some shading. So normally be darker inside that fold, right? Okay. Then we can come along here and just a little bit of shading. And that's going to help separate this down here too. Let's make that a little bit darker. See how that's going to separate that red from the red. And then we've got these lines. Let's go along there. There we go. And then just make this a bit darker over here. You can just play and have a good time. And they just, the color, they just blend. That's why they're called Stampin' Blends. Let's go over here. Oh, I want that brush end. Let's come over here. Get this to blend out a little bit. There we go. Okay. Just so much fun to play with these. We're going to use that in just a bit on the ornament. And then for her hair, I have the crumb cake. There we go. And so the tip isn't, you know, it's not flexible, so it's not, meaning it gives you really good control. It's not flopping around. All right, so I could use the dark, but you know what, if I go over where I've just colored again, I'm going to get a deeper color. And so we're going over the lines they gave us to give it more detail. There we go. Oh, she is so pretty. And then we've got, in the old olive, I've got the light here for our holly leaves. Okay, I would still wear this dress today. I love this. So we've got our little holly leaves. Isn't that pretty? And so then the dark, just for a little, oh, we want that. Yeah, that is the fine tip. Such a small area, but it has that line. Give it a little bit of definition. Oh my goodness, so pretty. And then for her shoes, I'm going to use the dark smoky slate. For her heels, here we go. And then, because I want to be dark, so I just went over it again. So I'm layering the color on top of the color, and it just gets deeper. So it almost looks black, but you know, black we would have lost the lines. We wouldn't be able to see them. So this is just perfect. Okay, put that back on. So wait till you hear that click, so you know you've got it shut. And the ivory, we're going to make her not look like a ghost. Oh, I can see I missed some of her hair along the side. We'll have to fix that. We can go back easily enough and do that. Get her arms. Her little delicate hands. Aha. and her legs. Isn't that nice? The way you can just color in so easily. Okay, all right. Let's bring back our crumb cake and get the rest of her hair. My goodness. Right now it almost looks like a skunk with this left in white. There we go. Oh my goodness. So now just for the ornament, that's all we have left. Let's go ahead and use the light again. You know, you could always go darker. But we've got, isn't that nice, the control we have? So the top and the bottom. And then the cherry cobbler for the center. And it has a bow on there, so that's up to you because it's a very delicate bow. We can try it. I'm tempted to just not even try to color it because it is so delicate. But there we go. Hey, that turned out not so bad. Haha. There we go. Isn't she beautiful? Oh my goodness. So then, as I was designing, you know, I was trying to figure it out. I put her on the crumb cake, and I really, really liked that a lot. And but anyway, as I was going along, I thought, boy, it needed something more, and that's where our mask came in. Because I had tried all kinds of different colors for the base. You know, I had tried the old olive, and I had tried cherry cobbler, and I really liked this best. So instead, and when I had it on here, and I'm thinking I was done, but just not pleased, thought, okay, let's do this. So this is our mask. We're going to cover her up or mask her, and I want to hold it in place. And so I've got my Dado adhesive. So let's go ahead and put some of that on here. It's just a temporary adhesive to hold things in place for you, but it won't hurt anything when I lift it off. And that should be available in your local craft store. If not, I'll have a link for that. I just love my Dado. Okay, there we go. So we're going to use the craft Stampin' pad. Push, flip, and let's lock that in place. And then I have a stamping sponge. Cut this into quarters. So I'm going to pick up some color in here, rub it on my sponge on here, and then let's just go all around this. Okay. And right now it just looks like a big old mess, but when you pull away our oval, that's our mask, it looks so cool. Okay, so we're about ready to show you that. You ready? Okay, well, let's put this away because we're done. Pull, flip, click. So we pull away the mask. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So now she's surrounded in all of that. And look how pretty on here. So we're going to put a little hint of color. Isn't that pretty? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use our Fast Fuse adhesive. Okay, so you can see that the alcohol markers, the Stampin' Blends, bleed through. And so if you're going to do a clean and simple card, you'd want to layer that. All right, so I don't want to see a lot of this. Isn't that pretty though? That hint of color is going to make a nice difference. Just want to make sure that's even. Oh, like that a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and more Fast Fuse, or finger where those ridges are. And let's put it flush to the side. Let's not open it. From the top and the bottom. There we go. Flush all the way over here. Ah. Okay, push that in. There we go. All right, once we have it, we can press everywhere. She is so pretty. So then we have a greeting, and it's the best time of the year, and I absolutely agree. Christmas is the best time of the year. And so I could use the Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad, but instead chose to use the basic black Archival Stampin' pad. Push, flip, and lock that in. Now I do like to stamp on a flat surface, so let's open this up. Go, and how about right here? It's the best time of the year. Oh, beautiful. All right, and so my card, like I said, it just kept, I start off with this with the white, and then I added the masking and really like that, and I boy, I still need something else. And I'm like, oh my goodness, we've got the holly berries. Well, how about the holly berry builder punch? Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead, and I've got some old olive cardstock here. And let's punch a couple of these small holly leaves. 1, 2, aha. And then cherry cobbler. And we've got the 3 berries that are all together already done. Aha. There we go. And so how about we use some mini glue dots? That'll make life easy. And so I'll have a link under the video to my blog post with all the measurements. All right, for my card. And like I said, all excited because today is the day we can order Stampin' blends. Oh. And so you can order one at a time, or in a set of the light and dark, or just the whole daggum collection. And that'll save you a lot of typing, just because we're going to want them all anyway. And so let's place these. This just really did it. Let's see if we're happy with our placement. Let's spread these out a little bit more. Oh, there we go. And press, and there we go. We have ourselves an old-fashioned Christmas card with the Christmas in the Making stamp set. If you'd like to make my old-fashioned Christmas in the Making Christmas card, all the supplies, including the new Stampin' blends, are listed under the video and available to order now in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. I'm Shelly Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. Thanks for watching.